recognize I'm the only thing standing between you and going home. So I will not take offense if we want to go fast or however, and I'll go through a little bit about our office. I like to call this the best kept secret. Nobody really knows what we do until at some point during the meeting you hear, Madam City Attorney, can you answer this question? And then all of a sudden, like I really don't want to answer that question in public. I'm really not supposed to give you legal advice in public, but it's an interesting role to play. So I'm really proud to be here. Actually, I was excited when they invited me to be here. I've never done this before, at Sacramento's Citizens Academy class. So I'm happy to be here. I've heard such great things about it. I'm just amazed that you all are giving this much of your personal time to this, that we even have city employees that are alumnus, and alumnus that are facilitators. It's pretty great, and city employees that are here on their own time after being at City Hall all day. So this is fantastic. So I hope, I can share a little bit and demystify my office a little bit more to all of you, because sometimes people hear attorneys and they think automatically something's wrong, and that's not always true. So first of all, this is a section from the city charter that speaks to my office, the city attorney, myself, what my role is. It's significant, and I'm not sure if you covered charter city versus general law city. Okay, so then I'm just going to jump to, I don't have to explain that. So Sacramento is a charter city. It has all of the powers that, unless the charter prohibits it or says that it can't do something. And so Sacramento enjoys a lot of authority to enact its own laws. And we're not governed by state law, but the charter is voted in by the people. That means every resident, every voter of the city gets to vote in a charter. We don't do charter amendments too often because they're very significant. It's like changing the Constitution. But a long time ago when Sacramento was formed, the voters and the people that formed Sacramento voted in this charter and said we're going to have an independent city attorney who pretty much acts like a check on all the other officers. I report directly to the city council. They hire me, they can fire me with a majority vote, and Howard Chan, who's my colleague, he also reports directly to the city council. I don't report to him. And then I think in a couple of weeks you're going to meet Mindy Cuppy. She's another city clerk, another charter officer. You have the auditor, I don't know if you've met him, Jorge Azuguera, and the treasurer, John Colville. So there's 5 of us that are charter officers. We're independent to the council, and we each have our own roles. My role is set out here in section 72. Not very much here, as you can see, at all, and yet there's a significant amount of work that happens in my office, and there's a lot of duties that we have. But fundamentally, I'm the chief legal advisor for the city and all of its officers and employees, and we handle all the legal work for the city. The city is a municipal corporation, so it's a city, it's a big corporation, and it has in-house counsel that it does all of its legal work for us. That's my office. The question I like to ask, like, who do I work for, though? And who's my client? That's significant because a lot of people don't really understand that, and I don't blame you, and I don't blame the general public because it's hard to understand to say, well, aren't you our attorney? Yes and no. My client is the entity, the city of Sacramento, the actual corporation itself. That's my client. It acts through the people that it elects to represent it. And it acts through the people who are voted in by all the electorate to represent it. But my client remains the city of Sacramento. That's why sometimes the city attorney has to step in if a particular, let's say, an elected official is doing something that's putting my client's legal interest at harm. So I have to step in and advocate for it and defend it, and then try to do my best as an attorney professionally responsible for making sure that my client's legal interests are always protected. Sometimes I'm not saying this is happening in Sacramento, I'm saying in general. Sometimes it's a city employee or a city official, and so it's my role as a city attorney to step in and do everything in my power to protect the city's legal interests. So it's a really interesting role. I've been doing this for so long, frankly, 32 years now, 3 years as a law student, working for cities, that it's second nature to me, but it's an interesting role that we have, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that in particular. But this is a charter provision that created my office. Internally, we have 5 divisions. We kind of mirror a little bit of the structure of the rest of the city departments. I'm an independent charter officer, so I've created 5 divisions in my office. Each handles a different part of this legal work for the city. The first is administration. That's what it sounds like. You know, it's myself, the chief assistant city attorney, the 2 assistant city attorney, and then I have 5 division chiefs that oversee the work of the bulk of the legal work for the city from the attorneys. I work directly with the city council and the city manager. Those are principally my clients, or the ones I talk to all the time. And obviously, if you go to council meeting, I'm sitting down there on the dais to advise the city on its work. But there's a lot of things within our administration that we do, personnel stuff, budgeting, things like that, just like everybody else that you hear about. The second division we have is our Community Advocacy and Public Safety Division, or we call it CAPS. That's where you'll find the city prosecutors. City of Sacramento has a number of city codes that it adopts. Some of those codes are mandatory. People have to comply with them, and if they don't comply with them, then we prosecute people for city code violations as misdemeanors. We can, you know, sometimes we ask for jail time. Mostly we're looking for compliance. You know, I'm not the DA, so I don't need conviction rates. What I need is compliance, and I need the community to maintain its standards. And so we have a number of deputies that serve as city prosecutors. A lot of people don't know that about us. No other city in Sacramento County does prosecution, but we do. We also have our award-winning Justice for Neighbors program, and we literally have won awards for it. That's the part of my office that you all may come in contact with, especially if you're in a community group, because if there's a problem in a neighborhood or community or problematic business, you heard from Davina Smith right before me, we hit a lot of illegal cannabis grow houses out of that JFN group, where they went in and they just, the police went in and raided the place, arrested the people, turned the case over to us, and then we sued the heck out of the owners that were allowing that to happen, and it recovered a lot of fines for the city that we were able to put back into the general fund to go out there to the community. So that's part of what our JFN does. We go after drug houses, we go after public nuisances throughout, and it's a very successful program. We work with Habitat for Humanity. Oftentimes we'll get a case in, and there's an opportunity for us to partner with Habitat, so maybe somebody just needs a little bit of help to fix their house, and so we have a partnership where we actually take some of the money that we recover from our cases, like the cannabis grow houses, and then have a fund set up that we then, with Habitat, help people in the community. And it's a really great way. During COVID, we used some of that money that we have, again, got for bad actors, and then turned around and worked with a senior service that was actually providing food out to the community. So there's a lot of things we're able to do with that JFN, because it's all about building community and supporting community. We also have, in that division, we also advise the police department. So all the legal advisors for the police department work within that division. Anything the police department does that they require an attorney, obviously our office is providing that service. We have the litigation division, just like it sounds like. It's staffed with a lot of seasoned litigators. That is something that is good for the city, because we do a lot of litigation in-house, which is kind of surprising, because this is a big city with a lot of cases. But we have such seasoned litigators in that they're able to handle. They have about maybe 30, 35 cases. That's kind of a lot per litigator, but they're able to handle it, and so they get the benefit of the in-house expertise without having to pay anything extra to outside law firms. We also pursue litigation on behalf of the city. For example, we're going after the opioid manufacturers. We're going after lead paint manufacturers. We did a bunch of housing, predatory lending practices. So we filed those kind of actions, and we pursue that on behalf of the community. Not a lot of people know we do that, but we do that. The Strategic Projects and Research Division, which is always such a tongue twister, that's our special division to address high-profile and fluid matters. What does that mean? Homelessness resides in the Strategic Projects and Research Division, because that is a very high-profile matter. The council is talking about it every day, and they're taking action every day. So I need a group of lawyers that are ready to just do things and follow up and stay side by side with, you know, a city manager and everybody else. So I don't need them to be knee-deep in litigation. I don't need them to be caught up in other cases. So we're very fluid with that particular group of attorneys so they can respond. Cannabis, that group is also the ones that advises Davina Smith. Tax measures, election matters, all are handled by those attorneys. So it's kind of a little specialized group. OPSA, the Office of Public Safety Accountability, that is also advised by that group. And you can stop me at any time you have any questions, but I think they wanted me to wait till the end. Okay. This slide, this was a presentation that I made to the council's I don't even know the name of the council. The City Council Personnel and Public Employees Committee. We were, as part of our requirements to hold ourselves accountable and be really assessed by the City Council who we report to, they wanted us to make presentations to them about what we're doing. This is a significant effort underway in my office right now because I inherited an office that was very homogenous and not representative of the community. And so I've made it a mission, you know, as the first Latina to serve in this position, I made it a mission to make sure that my office reflected the community. And we have a wonderful group of, I mean, all the staff are so engaged in it. We're doing everything we can to go out into the community, talk about ourselves, and hope that we attract more people from the community. And I'm really happy that we've been successful in that. We're not always hiring, but when we do hire, you know, it's wonderful. We're getting some of our law clerks that, you know, are from within Sacramento, and they're able to come join us. And it's something that we all very much enjoy. So I wanted to make sure that the council knew what we were doing so they could, oh, I don't know what I just did. Yep. So this is a little bit more of what we've done. You know, we've created a mentorship program because, just like I said, we have a lot of seasoned attorneys. They've been with the city. On average, we have attorneys that have been working for the city of Sacramento for maybe 20, 23 years. We have great longevity in our office, wonderful longevity. There has been such a turnover at the department head level, and our office remains consistent. I'm really proud of that fact because that helps the city so much. Or many times you get a new department head, new city manager, and so we're able to help them understand the city structure really quick and stay up to date. So I try to keep them as long as I can, but we're also getting in new attorneys, and so we're trying to mentor them as they go so they can become experts in their own right. The city auditor released in 2018, I'm not sure if he's been here, he might talk about it a bit, or if he hasn't been here, Gender and Ethnic Diversity Report, kind of tracking each department where they're at and meeting these DEI goals set by the City Council. So I wanted to report to the council that we'd made a significant, unfortunately the chart's not in there, but if you ask me, I will send them to you, significant advance towards our DEI goals and really integrating more of our office to look and represent the community. So we continue to improve. It's a work in progress. This is what I had prepared since I just presented it. And I don't know what else I can answer. I don't have any other prepared comments to make other than I will take any questions. It's interesting because there's a lot of things people want to know. And I would love to tell you, but I can't. I'm bound by professional ethics to maintain the confidentiality of my client. But there's a lot of information out there that may not fall into that category, so I'm happy to answer any questions. I see your hand. Oh, thanks.